Hi students, in this video I'll be discussing some concepts related to linear law. Okay, so as the name suggests, for linear law, we are interested in a straight line. Okay, so the basic idea behind linear law is that if you are able to transform any equation into the form of a straight line, and if you recall, for a straight line equation, right, it's going to be of the form y equals to mx plus c. Okay, so y equals to mx plus c. Okay, so for any graph or any equation, okay, if we are able to transform the equation into this form, then we can convert it into a straight line. Okay, so I'm going to start off by using one example. So for example, we have the equation v equals to 2x squared plus 4. Okay, so how would this graph look like for this particular equation? Okay, so as you can see, it's an x squared graph, so we should be able to get something like quadratic graph. Okay, anyway, we're going to input this graph into Desmos, and then we'll see how it looks like, right? So over here, I have a Desmos. Okay, so I'm going to key in the equation v equals to 2x squared, okay, 2x squared plus 4. Okay, okay, so indeed, we get a quadratic equation. Okay, so earlier on, I've already used Desmos to draw this out and then copy and paste over already. So I'll go over here. Okay, so how did we arrive at this particular graph? V equals to 2x squared plus 4. Okay, that is if we were to plot okay, v against x. Okay, then we will end up with this graph. Okay, but for linear law, we were interested in transforming this graph, which is now a curve, into a straight line. Okay, and we usually can do so by just adjusting either over here, okay, what we plot on the vertical axis, or over here, or what we plot on the horizontal axis, or sometimes both, right? So let's see how what we can do for this particular question. Okay, so this is a simple example. Okay, so remember, straight line graph is y equals to mx plus c. Okay, so for linear law question, we're going to use big Y, so as not to confuse with small y, equals to m, big X, so as not to confuse with small x, plus c. All right. Okay, so as you can see from what I've just written, if I can let big Y be v, okay, then the m will be 2, and then the big X, if I let it be x squared, to replace the x squared, and then c will be the 4. Okay, then in this case, if I were to write this out, I'll get the equation of a straight line. Big Y equals to 2, big X plus 4, right? Big Y equals to mx, so now m is 2, plus 4. Okay, so let's use Desmos to draw out this. Big Y equals to 2 big X plus 4, and see whether is it a straight line. Okay, let's go over to Desmos. Okay, so let's take a look. Big Y equals to 2 big X plus 4. Right, so indeed, we got a straight line. So I also copied this and pasted it over here already. So this is now a straight line, right? Okay, but what was the adjustment that we made? Okay, so since now is big Y equals to 2 big X plus 4, right? So this will be big Y, this will be big X. Okay, but what did we let big Y be? Okay, so big Y is B, right? Correct. So over here is B. Okay, so we replace back with the variables in the original question. And how about big X? What was big X? Big X was x squared, right? Okay, so over here was x squared. Okay, so what was the change that we made, okay, for the vertical and horizontal axis? So in this case, the vertical axis, no change was required. Okay, but the horizontal axis, you see, initially we were plotting big V against X, but now it's big V against X squared. Okay, so by changing whatever you plot on either the vertical or the horizontal axis or both, we can transform an equation into a straight line. All right. Okay, let's move on to a second example. So over here, I'm going to use another example. Okay, so let's say we have the equation big V equals to 4e to the power of 2t. Okay, so let's use Desmos to draw this graph. So remember, big V equals to 4 times e to the power of 2t, okay? So Desmos. Okay, so big V equals to 4 e to the power of 2t. Okay, so over here you can see we have an exponential graph, okay, that goes up very quickly. Okay, so I've also copied this graph already just now, so let's go back here. Okay, so what did we plot to get to this graph? So the variables in this question, okay, you got to identify what are the variables in this question. So the variable will be V and T. Okay, so to obtain this graph, we will have plotted V against T. Okay, so what is the change that we need to make over here and here to turn it into a straight line? Okay, so for a question like this, we will need to use some logarithmic functions. So what we'll do is we'll ln both sides. Okay. Okay, remember our objective is this form, okay? This form. Okay, then from here, we will use the laws of logarithm, product law, okay, to split it up. Okay, so remember we are using log axy equals to log ax plus log ay. Okay, okay, then from here, use the power law and bring it to 2t in front. Okay, and then why did we use ln? Because ln e is 1, right? So you will have ln v equals to ln 4 plus 2t. Okay, ln v equals to 2t plus ln 4. Okay, so as you can see, it's already of, let's see if we have put it in the form of big Y equals to mx plus c form. So now big Y will be the ln v. Okay, m is the gradient. Gradient must be a constant number. So in this case, the 2 will be the m. Okay, then the t, okay, will be the big X. Okay, so the big X must consist of the variables v and t. So it can either consist of t only, v only, or both, right? Then the c will be the ln 4. Okay, so in this case, the equation that we have is now big Y equals to 2 big X plus ln 4. Okay, so remember this, I'm going to use Desmos to draw it out. Okay, so big Y equals to 2 big X plus ln 4, right? Okay, so go back here. Okay, big Y equals to 2 big X plus ln 4. Indeed, we get a straight line graph. Okay, so I've actually also copied this over already. Okay, but what was the change that we make to the vertical and the horizontal axis? Okay, so on the vertical axis, as you can see, big Y. Okay, so in this case, big Y is ln V. Okay, big Y is still ln V. M is 2. Okay, then big X is T, and then C is ln 4. Okay, so for the vertical axis, the change was that V became ln V. Okay, for the horizontal axis, there was no change. Big X is still T, right? So this is still T. Okay, so the change to transform it would be, instead of plotting V against T, we plot V ln V against T. Okay, and that will change this graph to a straight line, right? Okay, let's look at one final example. So for this last example, the equation is m equals to 3e to the power of minus 2t. Okay, so let's very quickly put this inside Desmos. M equals to 3e to the power of negative 2t. Okay, so over here, m equals to 3e to the power of negative 2t. Okay, so over here we have a exponential graph, by going downwards. Okay, all right. So this is the graph. Okay, so exponential graph, but now going downwards. Okay, decreasing exponentially. Okay, so actually just now I've already copied over already. Okay, so this is the graph. Okay, okay. So what is on the vertical axis? What is on the horizontal axis for this graph? Okay, so by now you should be able to guess these are the variables. Okay, so if you plot m against t, then you will get a exponential graph that goes downwards, right? Okay, then what is the transformation, or what is the change in the vertical and horizontal axis that we must make in order to turn it into a straight line? So same thing, we need to do manipulation. Okay, so for a question like this with an E, the moment you see the E there means got to do with the ln function already. Okay, so you will ln it. Okay, then ln m will be ln 3 plus ln e minus 2t. Okay, so use the law of product law of logarithms. Okay, then power law, bring the power down. Okay, then ln e is 1, right? So just now I didn't explain why ln e is 1. Okay, but if you recall, ln means log base e, so log base e. So that's why you get 1. Alright. Okay, so over here, what we're going to get is ln m equals to ln 3 minus 2t. Okay, we rearrange, then ln m equals to minus 2t plus ln 3. Okay, so we will get big Y equals to m big X plus t form already. Okay, where now big Y is what? Ln m. Okay, big. Okay, in this case, for the gradient, I'm going to use m1 instead. Okay. Okay, because I don't want to confuse with these two m's. Okay, the gradient is a constant. This m is a variable. Okay, so m1 is the gradient now will be -2. Big X will be t, and then c will be ln 3. Okay, so the graph is going to be big Y equals to -2, big X plus ln 3. Okay, let's put this one into decimal square and see if we get this straight line over here. Okay, so remember big Y equals to -2 big X plus ln 3. Okay, so big Y equals to -2 big X plus ln 3. Okay, so indeed we get a straight line graph going downwards. Okay, so let's go back over here. Okay, so what was the change to the vertical or horizontal axis? So as you can see, for the vertical axis, previously we were doing m right, vertical axis, but now big Y is ln m. Okay, so if you were to plot ln m, okay, the horizontal axis is still t, right? Big X is still t. Ln m against t, then you will be able to transform the graph into a straight line. Okay, so to conclude, linear law, to transform it, okay, we just need to make changes to what we plot on the vertical and the horizontal axis of both. And how do we know what should we be plotting is we need to manipulate the original equation and try to transform it into a form of big Y equals to m big X plus t form. And then we see what is big Y and big X, and then we will plot accordingly. Okay, so this is how linear law works. Okay, so I'll take a look at this O-level question. Okay, so for this O-level question, we have the variables X and Y are such that when values of 1 over Y are plotted against 1 over square X. So the moment they say something plotted against something, so this one, the thing that they say first is the big Y. The thing that they say second is the big X, unless they specifically mention which one is vertical, which one is horizontal. Okay, but anyway, they say if you plot this against this, then you will get a straight line. Okay, given that Y equals to 0.25 when X is 0.04 and Y equals so this is the first set of value, okay, this and this. Okay, then the second set of value is this and this. Okay, find the value of Y when X equals to 9. Okay, so now the form of the equation is big Y equals to m big X plus t. But big Y is now 1 over Y, right? Okay, then m, we don't know what is it. Okay, big X is 1 over square X. C, we don't know what is it. Okay, but they have given us two sets of numbers. Okay, Y 0.25, X 0.04, and Y 0.5, X is 1.00. And we can make use of that to find M and C. Then after that, we'll be able to find Y. Okay, small y when X equals to small x equals to 9. Okay, so let's start the question. So when Y equals to 0.25, small x is 0.04. Okay, so let's start with the numbers. Okay. Okay, so let's tidy up a bit. 1 over 0.25 is 4. Okay, m Okay, 1 over square root 0.04 will give you 5. Okay, so over here, so this number, if you work this out, is 5. So this will be 5m. Okay, m times 5 is the same as 5m plus c. Okay, so let's call this equation 1. There are two unknowns. Okay, that's why they need to give us two set of info to form two equations. So the next one is when y is 0.50, x equals to 1.00. Okay, so same thing, going to sub inside. So 1 over 0.50 equals to m 1 over square root 1.00 plus c, right? Okay, so 1 over 0.5 will be 2. Over here, 1 over square root 1. Square root 1 is 1, so this is just m plus c. Okay, so this will be equation 2. Okay, so judging from this, I think we can use elimination method. Equation 1 minus equation 2. Okay, so left hand side minus left hand side, so you have 4 minus 2. Okay, right hand side minus right hand side. Okay, so you have 5m plus c minus m plus c. Okay, so that will give us 2 equals to 4m. Okay, so m will be equals to half. Right, so m equals to half. We'll sub m equals to half into equation 2. Okay, so substitute m equal to half into equation 2. So 2 equal to half plus c. So c will be 2 minus half will be 1.5. So 3 over 2. Right? Okay, so now since we have found m and c, okay, then the equation becomes like this already. Okay, continue over here. So remember, m equals to half, c equals to 3 over 2. Okay, so the equation becomes 1 over y equals to half 1 over square root x plus 3 over 2. Okay, then just the final step, find the value of y when x equals to 9. So when x equals to 9, okay, 1 over y equals to half plus 3 over 2. Okay, so 1 over root 9 is 3. So over here you half times 1/3 plus 3 over 2. Okay, so 1 over 6 plus 3 over 2, that will give us a 10 over 6. So this is 1 over y. So y will be 6 over 10 or 0.6. Right? Okay, so this is how you apply the concept of the idea of linear law. Okay, so big Y against big X. Then how do we know it's Y equal mx over c? Because they say that are plotted against this and this, and you get a straight line. Okay, that's why we know that big Y equals to mbx plus c form. Right? Okay, so I've also gone through two questions, okay, related to those type of linear law question where you need to plot and really draw the graph one. So I'll put the link in the description below, okay, of this video. So do click that link, okay, and go and watch the videos on those two questions. Okay, and then prepare your graph paper and then you can do the question along. Okay, so the questions are actually almost very similar for linear law, okay, year after year. Okay, so do make sure you take out your 10-year series or your fair booklet and then do more of this. Okay.